Do we want to talk about dates or hookups?
Oh gosh.
And speak, I'm like caught off guard. This bitch is coming out of nowhere.
But I'm sitting there like, oh, this is exhausting.
Yep.
And he just like rolls
And
his
I'm just like
eyes.
sweating.
my
Yeah.
God. It's like expensive and boring to be high maintenance.
Hi, this is Kelly Mizgorski,
And Ryan Frankowski.
and you're listening to
Mocktails are messy. And today we have Dawson, the magician hairstylist in the house. This
Hello.
is Kelly's go-to.
Yeah.
She's kind of like created this new alter ego, Dawson. Can you tell me a little bit about what you've completed with this magic?
So the first time I did Kelly's hair,
Sorry,
we were
you're getting me
doing...
excited.
No, you're good. So the first time we did Kelly's hair, it was the first time postpartum
Mm-hmm.
that we were doing your hair.
Yes.
And we just, big blonde transformation. She's on my Instagram page if you'd like to check it out. Then a little bit later, I was running a special on extensions, and we decided to go with some 18-inch extensions. And now we don't have Kelly any longer. We have Brittany.
It's Brittany, bitch.
Well, we love it. We want to know a little bit about who is Dawson? Where does he come from? Can you give us the rundown?
Oh, goodness. How much time do we have?
We have an hour.
Okay. I'll make it quick then. So I was born up in Clarion, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvanian born and raised. And then whenever I was in between freshman and sophomore year of high school, I got moved down to North Huntington, which is where I live now. Graduated from Norwin, and then I started going to college for medicine. And I was majoring in biology. I got accepted into a medical school early acceptance thing my senior year of high school.
Where'd you go? What med school?
LECOM,
Yeah.
Lake Erie College of
Yeah.
Osteopathic Medicine. I got accepted into their early acceptance program, and then I went to Gannon. And then the pandemic hit. My spring of my freshman year, I think, and moved home. Policies and stuff just didn't make for a great, like, back in person. I just transferred down to Pitt. I gave up my seat at LECOM and went to Pitt, and I was like, we're just going to take our chances. I was majoring in biology with a double minor in chemistry and neuroscience, and
Oh, shit. So you're pretty smart.
I like to think I am. I like to think I
Yeah.
am. Definitely understand the sciences at least. And I was rolling with a 4.0 up until like my last semester, and I got an A minus. And it knocked me down.
God.
Oh.
If only we could have chained those or
Yeah, we are like C's get degree students.
That applies to anything but medicine, because like you have to have for LECOM, I had to maintain like I think it was 3.75 or above.
Mm-hmm.
So can't get C's.
Yeah, I
Maybe
had a friend that went to
3.75.
pharmacy school there, and he said that he barely got through it.
Yeah,
It's tough.
It's intense.
Yeah.
And eventually I just got burnt out from the pandemic and needed to take a break. And
Mhm.
because I was taking winter classes and summer classes in addition to fall and spring.
Isn't that
I
crazy?
did not take
winter.
a break from 2020 to summer of 2021.
That'll
I
burn
was
you
just
out.
straight through. And it was like
Yeah.
full time for each 3 of the summer sessions. It was wild. And then I had signed a lease on an apartment, so I had to get a big boy job.
Oh,
Started
yeah.
working for a Pittsburgh-based salon and
Uh-huh.
fell in love with the industry and how much it can help people. Whenever I was studying to be a doctor, all I wanted to do was help people. My goal was neurosurgery.
Oh,
and
wow.
I wanted to eventually open up a pro bono clinic for
Mhm.
neurosurgery. So people who can't afford to get brain surgery, be
And then
what
it could
may.
be government funded.
Exactly.
Is there a
Yeah.
reason you were passionate about neurosurgery?
Just because it's one of the newer branches of medicine.
Yeah.
And there's also a lot to be discovered about the brain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, my grandmother has Alzheimer's, and
Mhm.
so I
Okay,
wanted to
yeah.
eventually do some research
Yeah.
with Alzheimer's, but didn't work out. But now I get to help people in a different way. Still working on the head.
Absolutely.
That's so funny, yes.
It goes full circle. My brother had an accident years ago, so we were very familiar with like dealing with the neurosurgeon and like
Yeah.
just we were so blessed with Pittsburgh hospitals and being able to like have some of the best physicians and surgeons in the United States. So I do really commend you for picking such an intense type of
Yeah, it was
study.
It was wild, and then also doing the research in addition to like schoolwork was just. It got to be a lot, but
Yeah.
now I do hair.
And now you're having so much more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too. Like I actually have a life now. So
Yes.
Well,
You
we
know.
brought your favorite drink,
thank you.
Moscow
thank
Mule,
you.
or one of
Yes.
your favorites, I
Yes.
assume.
I'm not too picky, but Moscow
Okay.
Mules are definitely.
You
a
already
go-to for
mixed
me.
it up for us.
Yes, I
Dang.
do have to give you a little bit of ginger beer. I mixed it up, the vodka and the lime juice. Now,
Okay.
with a Moscow Mule, how do you like to have it? The traditional one? You said that you don't mind a little flavoring included.
I don't mind if you like mix it up a little bit with the potato vodka. Is
Yeah, you dig
It
it.
is.
Do you wanna
so
pour it since
refreshing.
you're a
I'm
bartender?
definitely going to pour you some.
Okay.
So keep it going, guys.
So he was a bartender
Back in the day.
for many years, so
Ooh.
he knows what he's doing. So this better be the
We-
best Moscow Mule you ever had.
It better be. I'm.
Oh,
you-
shit.
If
There's
it's
a
not
lot of
set
pressure
expectations,
here.
It's time.
Yeah, don't kill his ego if it's not.
You're such a nice guy. I want you to really lay it on
He
hard.
he likes being abused. So
You like it hard.
I mean, I just feel like everybody's so sweet and nice, and I just like, I want to see like the little like, feisty, sassy side of Dawson because I heard that exists.
Oh yeah, it does exist. You've only ever seen me at work or like work
Yes.
functions.
Yes, and you've always been very professional. Like every time that we come into your studio, it's just like little day club
It really is.
or nightclub. Kelly's looking at me like, "Could you pour my fucking drink already?"
did you take a sip yet?
Not yet. I was
Okay,
waiting
we
for
gotta-
you to.
yeah, we have to
Okay,
cheers.
cheers. Now I have the
Alright.
ritual mocktail
Yes.
equivalent. I'm doing the mocktails. You're doing the cocktails. So
Yes.
let's cheers to mocktails or messy.
Cheers.
You guys gonna get messy?
Always.
So what's
Explain
your
to
type
you-
of girl?
It's the
You're
first
like
time in a
90-10, right?
It's more like 99-1. Like,
Okay,
and
I
the
mean-
one only comes out whenever there's a perfect mix of like atmosphere and types of
Ah.
alcohol.
Like if you had to pick like your perfect celebrity girlfriend from the 99% gay, 1% straight.
I don't know. Honestly.
Mine's Blake Lively.
Okay. Okay.
I'm just figuring, like, I don't know if you have
I
anybody.
don't know why I could see you with like Sabrina Carpenter.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I
could
could
just, like, see
too.
it.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
on the shorter side because
Uh-huh.
5'7", so
Tell me a little bit about, like, you're able to really operate on the head, but, like, in, like, a creative sense instead of, like, your life is on the line. Like, that could be stressful.
yeah, it's significantly less stressful than brain surgery. And I find it funny when my clients that don't know my background will say like I'll be telling them about like I get a question a lot like has anything ever gone wrong doing hair? And I'm like, yeah, in beauty school like I screwed up all the time. And I'm like and they'll be like, oh well, at least it's not brain surgery like this and that. And I find that comment funny because like
Yes.
once upon a time I was
Right.
studying to do that.
Yeah.
But it's significantly less stressful and it's nice to be able to form a connection with a client
Mhm.
versus when you're a surgeon of any kind, you don't want your clients to come back. You don't want your patients to
No.
come back. You want to interact with them and hopefully never see them again because you're typically seeing them as a surgeon in the worst part of their life or one of the worst parts of their life. And I enjoy with this job the human connection and being able to hear
Yeah.
someone's story and share my story and look forward to them coming back.
Right.
And I think that is one of the key differences between the two very different industries that I've found comfort in,
yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, I
Oh,
like
for
how you
sure.
broke that down.
Yeah.
It all makes total sense.
It's something I've put a lot of thought into recently
Yeah.
because I've had a lot of new clients and I've like been telling the story a lot and I think it's just I don't think I would have been as fulfilled as I am now.
Right.
Well,
'Cause,
we
like-
were talking about you and your glow up in the past like
Oh my
year.
goodness. Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
what
what's
happened?
going
How did
on,
you-
bro?
Yeah.
So when I started at Studio Raw, I think I was 195 or like 200
Really?
pounds.
You didn't like
But I
look like that though.
it was on my. I carried it very well,
Mhm.
Okay.
and I also hit it very well
Yes.
as well.
You're probably
Yes.
stressed out at school.
Yes, I was stressed out. I wasn't making any money. There was a period of time before I started at Studio Raw that I would have to go like 4 days every 2 weeks without eating
Oh
because
my
I did not
God.
have a dollar to my
Oh
name.
my gosh.
And
Ugh.
navigating that was definitely stressful. And I know that my parents were always there to like help me if I needed it, but I didn't like asking for help.
No.
I'm a middle child, so I like to go solo.
Yeah.
So I made it work, but I was definitely in a very stressful part of my life, and
Mhm.
I think that just kept the weight on.
Yeah.
And then I started at Studio
Yes.
Raw, and I got out of a very toxic relationship. And I just
Mm.
I walked in that next week, and Dan looked at me and said, "You have a glow about you." Like,
Was it the relationship that you got rid of?
it was the relationship that I got rid of. It was
The money you were making?
fact that I could eat again.
Okay.
I could eat healthy. I wasn't relying on the dollar menu at, well, $1.50, $3 menu at McDonald's and Taco Bell
Ugh.
anymore. Like,
Mhm.
and I was also just like I was just happy.
Well, you're
I
on
felt
your feet all
fulfilled.
day too
I'm
now.
more active at work
Right.
again,
Yeah.
not like sitting and snacking all day at work. Like, and like Dan's support, I felt seen for the first time in
Mhm.
probably my whole life, and everything just came together, and that's where I'm at now. Still single, out of toxic
glowing.
relationships, still glowing.
Yeah.
I'm going to the gym again. I'm biking. I'm, having fun with friends. I'm prioritizing, my wellness. And I'm finally in a place where I can do that. I'm very excited.
Well,
to continue this.
congratulations.
Thank you.
I
Thank
think
you.
that's a really big, important thing is like when you're in those toxic relationships, you don't really know it until you leave that, my
Yeah.
God, it's a huge weight off of me.
Yeah. And it was one of those situations where, like, I had kind of gotten over it before I left.
Mm-hmm.
So to this day, I still, like, I've just felt very confident in the decision since, like, I never wavered to be like, did I make that decision in haste or like, no.
Well, you two certainly have that in common.
Yeah, I feel like whenever you go through something hard like that, you kind of realize like life is way too short to just stick it out
It really is.
and
like,
being single is so much more rewarding because you really get to do whatever you want.
yeah, whatever I want.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. It's just, I'm in a very free point in my life, which I think that early 20s should be that free time of your life.
Yeah, don't you feel bad when you see people that have gone like 10 years in a relationship, all of their 20s, maybe like some of your 30s, and then they're getting out of it? And like, thank God, like you're still young at like 35, say, but you're like, to lose all those 20s,
Mhm.
Yeah.
not hoeing around in these streets.
That's the best part, man. That's the best part.
I know. This poor thing, she got married so young, but she's lucky she got a good
Oh
one.
my gosh,
Okay.
poor me.
I know. She got a good one.
Huh. Lucky you on the good one, but
Yes.
unlucky for early.
But it's not all
it's not-
rainbows and sunshine.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
you have
no.
had some disaster dates, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah.
Can
I've
you
had.
share one of the worst, like maybe the worst one?
Do we want to talk about dates or hookups?
Oh gosh, I don't know. What do you think?
I kind of want to go in with the hookup
Of
first
course
and
you
then the
do.
date.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay.
Of course I do. She knows I'm all about the fucking hookups.
It's how all my clients are too. So,
Okay.
I mean,
I blame it
I'm
on
very
being a
open with it.
Scorpio. I don't know if your thoughts are on that.
I don't understand any of that. I know that I'm a Sagittarius, and that's that.
The
I
best
don't know about
response.
Sagittarium.
I know my brother, my dad, and my aunt are, but
Really?
they have nothing in common. All three
Okay.
of them.
Hmm.
What have you been told about Sag?
That we're very fiery and independent,
I can see that.
which
Independent,
applies.
Okay,
Yeah.
now we're getting off track again.
Oops.
Typical.
So, I'll give you two hookup stories, and the
Ooh.
one is going to be much deeper and a little darker. But I'll start with the funny one.
Deeper and darker.
You want to start?
Oh
with the
no, I
deeper and
just like the way you
darker?
described it. Sorry.
No, let's start with funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
I
I
was
just like the way you described it.
Okay. So, I met a guy at a bar, like just to like meet him in public first.
5801.
Yes, met him there, and we ended up going back to my apartment at the time, and we were just like hanging out, continuing to have a couple drinks, and then we, started making out, and like things were getting hot and heavy and everything.
That sounds hot.
And he just kind of like grunted and just like froze.
Oh my god, did he come?
And I was just like, you okay? And he was just like, I need a second. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, did I do something? Like, I started feeling like I had, like,
you did
something. Triggered him or something. And I triggered something, all right. He came.
Oh,
my gosh, really?
You called it.
I did. I thought that only happened in movies.
No, that was an experience. So then, like, I was letting it, like
hang out.
Yeah, I just like
Wow.
I tried to make it as not awkward as possible. I just kind of like sat back and I was like, "Hey, it's all good.
Woo.
Do you want
That was
another
kind of
drink?"
you.
Like the movie that we were watching ended. Like, pick a movie. I'll go mix up
Yeah.
another round of drinks. Like, we're all good. Do you want me to like throw pizza in the oven? Something like that. Like, I was just
Aw.
trying to like make him feel
it
comfortable.
less awkward.
Yeah,
Oh, you're the best.
and then
You're
We
a
ended up-
sweetheart.
yeah.
I
hooking up
probably would have been
later, but-
pissed.
Okay.
Oh,
and it was
okay.
good.
I
Like,
would've
yeah.
it was, but
Oh yeah.
was just like, trying to make him more comfortable.
what
and
was his
everything.
reaction when you like kind of were being so like nonchalant? Was he like, what?
He was I was fighting an uphill battle on trying to not make it awkward.
Oh yeah.
We all the human
Cheers to
body's a
that.
wild thing, right?
It is.
Yeah.
Hey, take it as a compliment.
That's what I did. I
Right?
was just like, hey, it's all good. Like,
Yeah, and then you got some satisfaction later.
yeah, just had to let him,
Wow, you're that guy. You
Relax for a
literally
little
you
bit.
did that.
I think
was
the
just-
one time I was really embarrassed whenever I like couldn't get hard, and
Oh,
that was
that's the
always
worst, yeah.
embarrassing. And I wasn't even drunk. It was just like, and it was like this girl that I told you about, and like she was really hot, and we had some great sex. And then I was like, why am I like I'm so embarrassed? Like, and I think I'll never forget that moment where I'm like, she didn't even care like you. She was like, I mean, maybe she did, and you did. But she just was like, hey, let's go, let's get another drink, or let's like, like it's all good. You can't get hard. Sometimes that shit happens.
I mean, I feel like in those situations, or any situation, it's only awkward if you make it awkward.
Right.
That applies to so much. Like, it's only awkward if you
Yeah.
make it awkward. So just don't let it be awkward.
I know. And then the
It's
date.
hard, but I mean, you get through it. Or in your case, it's not. But
I know, right? I mean, when you're like in that state, like
Yeah.
that's usually the case. I was just sober, so I was like, fuck, this is really embarrassing. She's gonna think that I am not into her.
oh yeah,
You know what I mean? But anyways, as I digress, we had another hookup story that you were gonna tell us.
yes, this one is quite dark, but I mean, it kind of opens up for a deeper conversation, if you will, of
Uh-huh.
self-discovery and recovery and stuff like
Oh,
that.
nice.
So there was this guy who I was leaving beauty school, and I was like leaving for the day and going to a party because the salon I was at had just won Best of the Berg. I left beauty school in a mesh tank top and
The
really-
same one from the Pride Parade?
very similar.
Okay.
It was an old one that fit my body at that time.
Okay.
So I left in that, and I put like something like this over top of it because I knew I had to stop at Get Go and like buy some stuff before I went down. And I'm
And
standing in line at Get
Get-Go
Go.
is a gas station for anybody who's not from the Berg.
Oh, is Get Go Pittsburgh?
It's only Pittsburgh.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, yeah, it is. Oops,
Yeah.
my bad.
Forget that.
That's
Stopped at a gas
okay.
station,
I just
yeah.
want to
Stopped at a gas
clarify.
station.
Good call.
Yeah.
We have
Good for
like
thinking
one
on that.
city outside of Pittsburgh that's a high listener count, and it's New York for some reason.
Oh, okay. Alrighty.
Yeah.
Well, this guy is standing behind me, and I can hear him like whispering something, and I just like kept my sunglasses on going in because I was just picking up something and leaving real quick. and I could hear him behind me saying something, and I couldn't hear what it was. I checked out, I got in the car, and I'm sitting at the red light leaving the parking lot, and this truck pulls up beside me. And it's this guy like honking and beeping, and he's like telling me to roll down my window. I roll down my window, and he's just like, "Hey, can I get your number? This and that." And I was just like, "Fuck it, why not?"
Oh my
And-
God, was he cute?
Yeah, he was.
Okay,
He
because
was
I was
cute.
like, you can't be giving your number to some
Yeah, he
whack.
hadn't been,
Yeah, he was cute, driving a nice truck. I was just like, "All right, sure,
That's
why not?"
aggressive.
Turned on by
And
the truck.
also, he was very forward, so I was just like, "All right, the
That's a
confidence,
turn
I'm digging
on.
it." Yeah. So I gave him my number, and he's like blowing up my phone for like the next week. So that night, I call him over, and we're doing things, and we're starting.
What are you doing? Please elaborate.
We're making out, feeling each other up, like all the foreplay stuff
Yeah.
that goes into a hookup. And he was getting really aggressive,
Oh,
like, and I don't mind rougher sex, if you know what I mean. However, it was just a little too far.
like
Yeah.
choking?
I that wouldn't be too far, but
Okay,
no,
we
just
know
like
what you like.
what he was saying, like
Oh no, I hate
Dropping-
that.
dropping some really weird verbs in there, and I was just like called me a bitch at one point, and I was like, I've hooked up with people that enjoy being called that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but typically that's something like you say,
you kind of address.
Yeah.
Or you talk about.
and I did not. And so eventually I was like, let's just stop.
Did you have a beard at the time?
No.
That is not relevant.
No, it can be because so that could be identified as like, oh, he's a pretty boy. He likes to be
Oh.
that. Now I wouldn't assume that, but if you were like younger,
Yeah.
skinny, twinkish,
I
I see what
wasn't
you're
as
saying.
skinny.
yeah. So I would
was-
have said
I was
maybe.
at like, I think I was at 210 at that
Oh
point.
shit! Yeah. So I would not have been like, "Hey, bitch."
Yeah. Like, whatever. Like, I was just like, hey, let's pause. Like, let's take a break. He stopped for about 10 seconds and then started up again. And I was just like, I was just like, all right, just get out of your head. You'll be fine. And then we're like, ramping back up. And then it happens again. And I'm just like, all right, I don't want to do this anymore.
Good for you.
And he didn't stop and just kept going until he was done.
Oh my
Yes.
You essentially
god!
got.
I
RA.
did get raped. Funny.
It's very dark.
Deep and dark.
You probably felt like you were endangered, so like get him out of here, let him do his thing.
Yeah. And it definitely hits like a point where you just like kind of out of body. Like
Yes.
you just detach so much that you're just like, you don't feel anything in the moment. Like you're just kind of off somewhere else.
I'm
Right.
so sorry
I'm
that you
so
went
sorry.
through that.
Hey, we got through it.
But thank you
and-
for being vulnerable and
Yeah.
explaining because
mean-
I know a lot of people have dealt with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's unfortunately very common with straight individuals,
Yes.
male and female more predominantly,
Absolutely.
and also in the LGBT community. It's
Mhm.
very common and it's sad, but I got through it. I went to therapy. I was working through
Mhm.
like triggers and stuff, and it wasn't the first time I had been raped or sexually assaulted. And so I kind of had like a little bit of a foundational knowledge on how to work through that.
Mhm.
And I'm, still working through it. It's a continuous thing. I find new triggers every now and then. And I'm just like, ooh, that's new. That's spicy.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, the important part is getting therapy.
Yeah,
I mean,
getting
I'm in
help so you can cope.
therapy, and I feel like everybody, if they have the option, and especially, something that you've gone through,
Yeah.
such as that.
Yeah, it's very traumatic. And I had people, thank God, I had my older sister. She came over that night.
Mhm.
She called me and started like screaming on the phone so that he could hear it, like to like say like there was something wrong with the dog and I needed to come over and this, that, and the third. And he
Oh,
ended up
thank
leaving.
God.
And then she came over and like helped me. And then one of my friends from beauty school came and picked me up. I spent the night at her house, and
Would you
I had
have
a
wanted to press charges, or is that not something you were comfortable?
I thought about it a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and I just first off didn't know his full name,
Right.
and also unfortunately the system works in a way that, you know,
Yep.
I invited him over. If you look through the messages, like, we were talking about it,
Mm-hmm.
and, you know, I can change my mind at any time and withdraw consent. However, looking at the stuff on paper, I wasn't 100% sure if it would go in my favor, and I just didn't want to relive it.
Right. No.
So I was like, all right,
you don't want to
get
relive
through
it.
it. Yeah.
Gosh, thank you for sharing that story because I think it could help others.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm very open with
Yes.
my with this story, and also my mental health
Absolutely.
struggle that I've been going through since pretty much my whole life. And
Do you think a lot to do with being, part of the LGBTQ plus community? Like, I know for myself, I struggle with that.
yeah, I definitely think that at one point in time I did not accept myself.
Mm-hmm.
I knew something was different about myself, and eventually I just said to jump in and see what it was. And that was probably the best thing I could have done for myself, was make sure that's who I am,
Mm-hmm.
and, like, you know, work through accepting myself.
Yes.
And the journey of self-discovery has been wild.
Uh-huh.
Lots of ups and downs. It is a roller coaster
Yeah.
ride, but I finally am at a place where I do love myself and I take care of myself, and I, you know, I'm not 100% in love with every aspect of myself, but I know that that's the way it is, and I can gradually work to something better, and I'm continuing to improve myself every day. And all of the different chapters in my book and all of the different scenes in my movie have led to where I'm at now, 23, with, as some of my clients say, an old soul.
Yes. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, you have an old soul.
Thank you.
Yes. Like, I mean,
In a
we're 10 years older
positive.
than
Yeah.
you, and I feel like you're older than us.
That's what a
I
lot of my clients say.
know.
It's totally weird, but
I mean, you do look
yeah.
very young.
But everybody loves
That-
you.
yep.
You're so inspiring.
And you sharing that a little bit more about, like, not only the tough times, about like
Yeah.
just like you kind of coming to terms with yourself, like, makes you just not only like handsome physically, you have such a beautiful spirit about you
thank you.
internally, and I didn't know that about you.
You would have
Yeah.
hated us when we were your age. We were so
Probably.
annoying and
We were
immature.
so
You
fucking
would've
immature.
Hated us.
Yeah, you were like,
I
these
doubt I
two
would have
need
hated
to
you.
like get
You would have just
rehab.
fit into a specific part of my life.
Yes,
Yeah.
we would have been your party friends.
Exactly.
Yes.
I have my party
We
friends.
wouldn't have been your like, let's have a deep conversation.
Yeah.
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 now
I have-
maybe different.
Yeah, exactly. And that's
Yeah.
I think that's why I get along with a lot of my clients, and, like,
Mm-hmm.
I've had a couple clients recently, like, tell me about their children that are going through, like, a bit more of a struggle, and I've always been very open about the fact that I have hospitalized myself to get help. I was on
Mhm.
medication. I've since gotten off the medication. I was in and out of
Do you
therapy.
feel comfortable sharing what medication?
Yeah, I was on Zoloft.
Okay. And that's
I think it's
for-
Zoloft. It's sertraline is the chemical name.
Okay. And that's for depression?
Yes, it's an SSRI. And I was on a very high dosage, so that
Mhm.
might have probably led to my feelings on it, but it took away all of my emotion.
Oh, wow.
Like, it hit a point that, like, so what it does is pretty much just like, so you have your peaks and your valleys, your highs and your lows, and it just brings them a little closer together. Like, you still experience, like, happiness and sadness, but it's less extreme.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't like the fact that everything pretty much just came to a flat line. I was just numb all the time.
Did
And I
anybody
hated that.
tell you, did anyone share with you how they felt you were acting differently? Like your sister or your friends that know you well?
Once I got off, my family told me that that it seemed like I was back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like, some of my friends also said, like, you were kind of zombie-like sometimes.
Mhm.
Like, if I were tired or in, like, a sad part of it, like, I was off. I was floating through life. I was not living life. Life was living me.
Well, it's interesting what you said about
Absolutely.
the Zoloft. I have recently been diagnosed with PMDD. It's like a extreme PMS.
Mhm.
So they gave me Prozac, and I took it, and I felt the same way that you described, just no emotion at all. And my husband was like, I'd rather you have the rage and the
Yeah.
depression than act like this weird, like,
Zombie.
blank slate. Yeah, definitely like a zombie vibe. So I did stop like taking it. I'm gonna see if there's other options for me.
Yeah.
This is all like new within the past month, and it's
I'm
just
sorry.
comforting to hear that you kind of had the same experience with the medication.
Yeah, it's designed to do that. Maybe try a lower dose. I'm not a
Yeah.
doctor.
Yeah.
I can't make medical recommendations,
Yeah,
but
I hear you.
maybe
Yeah.
ideas. I mean, I think that if I were on a lower dosage just to take the edge away,
Mm-hmm.
I would have been okay,
Yeah.
but I wasn't,
Yeah.
and then my doctor ghosted me. So
Oh my god.
I had to
What?
wean myself off of a very high dose of an SSRI, and thankfully
Thank
I had one
God.
refill left, and I knew how to do it safely without destroying my brain. So
Damn. Now,
We got through it.
doctors are ghosting
Thank
people. What the hell?
God.
I don't think it's legal, but I really haven't looked into it because
Yeah.
I was just like, whatever. Like,
I mean,
Yeah.
not to throw any under the bus, but like she remembers whenever I was at Penn State and I was studying
Yes.
engineering, everybody was taking Adderall.
yeah.
So I like reached out to the doctor that it was not really my doctor, it was a doctor family friend.
Mhm.
And I was like, "Hey, can I get a script for Adderall?" And he's like, "Yep, just sent it over electronically. Go pick it up. 10 milligram." What the fuck?
Didn't you
Damn,
say he's
okay.
no longer?
He's no longer
Practicing?
practicing.
Does he still have a license?
I don't think so.
Okay, I was gonna say. I feel like he shouldn't.
I mean, how fucking crazy. But
That
then I
is-
think at the time, like I was reluctant because I've always kind of been, and I hate saying this now because I'm learning so much through you and through like other new family members about needing these type of prescriptions
Yeah.
just in daily life. I was always kind of against them because I've never experienced those kind of
yeah.
feelings, and I feel kind of guilty being, so one narrow-minded way. So
Yeah.
thank you for, bringing this up again. I'm sure that I'm going to get shit on by some of the people that I've always kind of been against, but I think I've only been exposed to people that have kind of been teetering on like maybe
More recreational use
They
rather
were-
than medicinal.
they
like,
were
treating
taking
something.
them a little bit too much, like,
Okay.
and it was like affecting them, and instead of like taking the dosage that was prescribed, and it can be addictive.
It can, yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. Whether it's actual addiction, like Adderall can be addictive,
Right.
or if you're just like you have a physical reliance on it, like an SSRI.
Yes.
An SSRI isn't at least Zoloft wasn't addictive,
What is
but it's like
SSRI?
selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor.
Wow. You really did go to you really did study some shit.
I did.
Do I need to cool you down?
It's a turn on.
I've always struggled with mental health. I've always, had depression. I believe that mine is more of like a genetic thing. Just my brain does not produce enough serotonin.
Yeah.
And I'm just, work through it. You got to find the sources of serotonin to build them up.
Right. Do you feel like exercise or like
Absolutely.
cardio?
Both. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exercise in pretty much any capacity. I think it just like opens my brain a little more. And then
Yes.
also figuring out what my triggers were
Mm-hmm.
and like
That's
what things
important.
made it worse.
Okay.
And I feel like if I drank more than 3 days in a row, I go through a really bad patch right after that.
Mhm.
Like as my brain's kind of like coming back to normal, like
Yeah.
that depressant,
right.
just like,
like maybe one day or two were
yeah, like I can
manageable.
absolutely go get blackout drunk and be fine for the rest, minus the hangover, for like the rest of the week.
right. One night.
Yeah. But if it's just mindlessly drinking every night,
Yeah.
it's
Oh yeah.
it's terrible.
No,
And
I know that's kind of what we were trying to bring on the podcast, mocktails or messy. We have a lot of messy times, and as we get older, you know, we're much older than you, 10 years, and we find
10 years,
ourselves
calm
so
down.
much happier with like implementing mocktails
Yeah.
or, you know, she's being more mindful as a mother. It's like, you know, I think that people don't talk enough about how alcohol is a depressant.
yeah.
It's not like the other things that people do recreationally that can maybe be more of an upper. I mean, I don't condone anything right now, but like I know myself, like living in LA, like people really switched over to Cali sober because they were like, oh my God, like alcohol was making me angry or
Yeah.
alcohol was making me sad. But like the weed for them, I think, you know, it can be excessive if you're doing it every day.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I feel like every person has where it becomes a problem, but it's also a medicine.
Yeah.
And I understand with my background,
Right.
I know how to read like the articles and stuff, like the medical journals. I think that people can use it medicinally, but
Medical marijuana.
yeah, there's
Mhm.
definitely something to that. But I'm not a person that could get through every day constantly high.
Oh, yeah.
I definitely think that every now and then it could help me.
Right.
Like,
little
take,
nibble.
like with my anxiety
Yeah.
portion.
Right.
I definitely think that like a little, like one little hit could definitely help me,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I feel like I just zen out
Yes.
a little too much,
Right.
and getting through my job,
Oh, yeah.
it
You
would not,
can't
I
be
wouldn't, I
zenning.
wouldn't fit the salon
No.
vibe. Like,
Oh,
No.
no.
I don't-
And like even just like zenning out too much when you're like taking care of somebody's hair.
yeah, like
That could be bad.
Like you don't want to like
using like a really sharp needle, like right up against the scalp.
Oh my gosh, yeah. When he puts my extensions in, I'm like, oh my gosh, is that gonna go through my scalp? Like, no, he's perfect with it.
I
but it's,
knew
yeah.
you were gonna do a good job, but I didn't know you
Thank
were
you.
gonna like crush it. I'm not just saying it. I'm like, holy fuck, this is her not real hair, but it looks real.
Well, it
Like-
is real human
Yeah.
hair.
Oh, it is.
It's just
okay. It's just you did an amazing job, and I
Thank
think
you.
she's got like that kind of like hair that I have always liked her with long hair, but she did chop it because I guess you wanted to switch it up.
I don't
Yeah.
know. Like, yeah,
I was the
just
one
do
that did the chop.
He
so,
did,
Okay,
yeah.
per Dan's request.
Yeah, you were like totally hesitant.
Oh my
about
God,
it.
was this like a marketing ploy?
Oh, they cut it off so that they could sell me the extensions.
Oh, I was so lost there for a second. I'm like, marketing
Wait,
ploy
maybe
for
that's
what?
not the way that.
Totally
maybe that's
kidding.
not the
I
way.
know they didn't do that.
Clearly not, because I was like, huh?
That's not even the right terminology. Marketing ploy.
A setup.
You know, it
Was
sounds
that like
right
a
to me.
business setup?
Right.
Was that a press publicity
Maybe.
stunt?
Maybe. Who knows? No, no, it was not. But yeah, I'm very open about my mental health journey and stuff, and getting through all of that. It was a huge part of my life, and it's definitely something I like to put a lot of time and energy into. I definitely like want to do some reels on Instagram and stuff, just
Yeah.
to, like I think that June is men's mental health month or
Oh,
something
okay.
like that, talking about male depression.
Yeah.
And,
that was
like,
June.
June, yes.
Yes.
And
We're
I
in
thought it was
July.
August, but it is June. So
Yes.
next year, stay tuned for some stuff.
Okay, good.
But I am glad that it came up on here, because I definitely like to, at least work it into conversations so that, like, spread awareness.
You are a singer. You and Dan are
Yes.
the singing hairdressers. You're
Yes.
naturally, obviously, like a good singer.
Thank
How
you.
did you get into it?
I've been
Okay.
singing since I was in kindergarten, and it was a basketball like championship game. It was on my birthday, I think my 5th or 6th birthday, and I went to the school that my mom worked at, and that was the first time I sang the national anthem in public.
Oh, wow.
And I remember her holding her flip phone up in front of me with my dad on the line so that he could hear me singing.
Mhm.
And like I just remember it being very like scary.
Yeah.
Like, and also like the sound singing through a microphone
Yeah.
live,
Never done that before.
hearing your voice come back at you is
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah. Is
It
that why they
is-
wear like the earplugs?
No, that's for a different thing.
Oh,
I was not
okay.
wearing the earplugs,
Okay.
and I never have worn
Uh-huh.
the in ears, but it's just playing a track back at you.
Oh.
If it's too loud of music and their speakers too far away from you, you're off of the music
Got
and
that.
stuff.
Got it.
So
Yeah.
it's just, I don't know. It's been fun kind of getting back into music, but I've been singing since as long as I can remember.
I'm glad you're
I also
doing
play
it
instruments
now.
and play piano and
Can you sing us a little tune? Like, I just want to hear you belt it out. I want to hear the Dawson belt.
there's only
No, wait, it's not Dawson. Dawson.
Dawson.
I'm
I
sorry.
thought you
I've been
I
just-
thought
saying
you just had a weird accent
I thought
on
you
it.
had a
Oh,
speech
is
impediment.
I have a speech impediment.
A speech impediment.
Doll. You're such a doll. That's what it is.
Like
You're just a little
DOLL?
doll.
Okay.
You're
Thank
such
you.
a good,
Thank
cute
you.
little doll.
What can I say? I'm adorable. Thank you.
Yeah.
There's only one song really coming to mind. Have you ever felt like nobody was there? Have you ever felt forgotten in the middle of nowhere? Have you ever felt like you could disappear? Like you could fall and no one would hear?
Ooh, you're getting better and better.
Thank you.
That was kind of
It's the
sexy.
Opening, You Will Be Found.
You will be found.
Yes.
That was a beautiful
It-
film.
I saw it live when they came to the Benedum last year,
Mm.
and I was a wreck because that's the song that leads into like the intermission,
Yeah.
and then the lights came on, and I was just like, hide me, like
Oh, you're so cute.
it's a very heavy show, but it's beautiful if you ever get the chance to
Yeah.
watch it. But
I mean, I've only seen the film, but there's a show.
yeah,
Okay.
if you get to see it on Broadway or
Yeah.
an off-Broadway production.
So I do have like a hairstylist, this or that, and so
Yes.
so I'll just say like what it is, and you just tell me what you prefer.
Okay.
Okay, a balayage or a classic highlights.
A balayage.
Oh, okay.
That's so much better.
Rainbow hair colors or natural colors.
Both.
Short hair or long hair.
Long hair.
I knew you would say that.
Mhm.
Curled or straight.
Curled.
Blondes or redheads.
Blondes all the way.
Woo! Leave-in conditioner or leave-in oil.
Depends on the hair, but I'm going to say leave-in conditioner.
Yeah, oil sounds whack.
Okay, last one. Updo or down.
Down.
Yes. Okay, love it. That was fun.
I know.
And then just one more funny story that I had to like just
Oh,
bring
yes.
up. I
Oh,
know
no.
you were saying he was like swiping on what was it?
Grinder.
And he saw you and he was
I
like
did. I saw Dawson. I'm getting messy. I saw one grinder.
Why didn't you message me?
I
and just be like,
messaged
hey,
you.
Oh, did
didn't-
you ignore
you
him?
blocked me.
You blocked
When
him.
did I
I'm
block
kidding.
you?
I don't
oh my
think-
god.
I was like, what the?
I don't know. Actually, I think you know what it is. Like, you know when you like delete the app and then you turn it back on and you delete and turn it on. Do you ever delete it?
No.
Oh, you don't have a problem.
No.
Ever since
I'm a
I
whore, and
saw-
I'm very comfortable with
Okay,
that.
okay. No. You know what the problem is
But
with
what
me?
did you
I'm
tell
like
me, though?
studying for like an exam and stuff.
What did you tell me? Why didn't you swipe
Oh,
or whatever? 'Cause
Why didn't
said-
you tap
because
me?
I was afraid that you were gonna out me. You know, I'm very closeted.
He said he didn't want to sleep with another one of my hairstylists.
Oh my god, no, that is not true. That is not true. I never said that.
Another one.
Wink,
The fact that it's
wink.
another
I
one.
never said. She's getting messy now. Fuck.
Hey, listen.
Oh my god, that is open to interpretation.
hmm
I can't even speak. I'm like, I'm like caught off guard. This bitch is coming out of nowhere. Okay, so now we want to get messy. What do you think the most annoying thing about Kelly in the chair being your client? Like, and you have to be honest. Don't fuck with the. Don't fuck with
Don't
me
worry,
and
I'm
come
gonna-
up with some
I'm gonna
nice
keep
shit.
coming back. I'll keep coming back.
Oh, nice.
Oh my god, I'm scared.
I mean, I guess you have to be honest.
So, it's not just Kelly. It's actually a lot of people because
So
Kelly's
he's
appointment.
prefacing it to soften the blow.
I'm just saying that it is a very common issue with long appointments. So
Okay.
Kelly's appointment is very long.
Yes.
It's like what, 4 hours?
Yeah.
And
God forbid if
from
she had a
beginning to
job.
end, right? And like it happens, and I'm guilty of it too. But like the conversation stops, and like it's hard to get it back to going. But I mean, if I were sitting in the chair for 4 hours, like standing behind the chair, I struggle to get it.
Oh
like,
my
keep it going.
God.
Like eventually, you just hit a point where you're just like, all right, I'm done. Like,
Yeah, I
Right.
know. It's
That's-
just like you're
that's like-
tired.
Yeah, it's like one of the most annoying
Well,
things
and
just as a
you're
hairstylist in
focused.
general.
You
Yeah.
sometimes need to like. I know for myself, like I've learned, like you don't have to fill in every like box with words.
noise. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have
Yeah.
to fill every second of silence.
Yes.
And it really only with you, I feel like we talk a lot during like the application and then the
Mhm.
rinsing and toning and blow drying and cutting. Whenever I do the extensions, I'm out.
Well, maybe you have
Dude,
your
me
phone,
too.
And I
right?
think you are too.
No, it's like
She's not a big like talker after
listen,
like an
I'm
hour.
not even doing all the work, but I'm sitting there like, oh, this is exhausting.
Yeah, right. Like
She's like, shit, it's like expensive and boring to be high maintenance.
I'm sitting in his chair and I'm just like, oh, this is such hard work, and he just like rolls
And
his
I'm just, like,
eyes.
sweating.
my
Yeah.
God.
just disheveled. Like
Can I just talk about how good that reel was with you three?
Oh
You,
my gosh,
Dan,
yeah.
Dawson. Oh my
Oh,
god.
yeah, that was so much fun.
That was hilarious. Who came up with the concept of having like a tag team?
Dan.
Oh, that naughty
Whenever he
little
was
thing.
training me, it was
Yeah.
like our go-to line, like, "Are you comfortable being tag teamed by two men?" And the old ladies just ate it up.
So Dawson, not to put you on the spot,
Oh,
since
God.
we've asked you a lot of intimate, messy questions.
Yes.
What question do you have for us? And it can be messy, it can be insightful. We want to know what you are curious about Kelly and Ryan.
You know, I spend a lot of time with Kelly.
Oh,
Yeah.
you can ask me.
So,
he
like,
already
we've-
knows
I'm
we've
in the
kinda
hot seat.
gotten
Give
to
me the
know each
hot
other.
ones. Don't be like trying to be shy and be nice. You can ask me anything.
Oh God. My head went straight for the gutter. What is the messiest hookup you've had or relationship you've had in terms of like involvement with other people?
Oof.
Like I've hooked up with guys that have known like other people that I've been with.
Oh,
like, they're all aware of me.
Oh, wow. Yeah. You know what? Is that a Pittsburgh small town thing?
I don't know, or maybe I just have a taste, a type, if you will.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God, that is a great question. I honestly don't know. I think the messiest thing recently was this like straight couple, and the guy was like, hey, like they were both really hot, and the guy was like, hey, do you want to like spit roast my wife? And then I was like, oh, nope, delete. Like spit roast? What?
Yeah,
like
those
I
ones-
was
What
not.
is that?
uh-uh.
Do you know what that is? What's a spit roast? I don't know what that is.
Like Eiffel Tower kind of thing.
Yes, thank you. I had
Yeah.
explained. I tried to
Do you know what
explain
an
it.
Eiffel Tower is?
I know what an Eiffel Tower is.
Okay, it's pretty much that, except
just
you
never-
don't meet hands.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
Dawson, thank you so much. You're such
Doll.
a doll. Dawson, thank you so much for coming on Mocktails Are Messy.
Absolutely,
Thank
it
you
was
so much.
great.
And thank you for making this beauty like even more beautiful with that hair.
Oh, absolutely.
I
We'll
know.
continue.
I'm the luckiest. I just love you, and I can't wait to
and
come
I
back
love
again.
you too. We'll see you in a
Yes.
couple weeks, right?
Yes.
And thank you for being so vulnerable and
Absolutely.
sharing those stories.
Yes.
We really have to commend you on being so open, and we appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm always very open about it. And,
So
you know,
let's get messy.
thank you for listening to Mocktails Are Messy. This is Dawson Snowberger.